So the holiday season is time for family, joy, and giving. However, some folks will use this as an opportunity to scam other folks out of their hard-earned money. And often it is the most vulnerable among us that fall prey to these. In this video, I'm going to break down 3 very prominent scams that criminals will use to try to get at you and your family's hard-earned money. Hey everybody, welcome back. If I haven't met you yet, my name is Bill. I am a certified financial planner. And really, this video is not to be fear-mongering. It's not really to cause a panic or anything like that. It's really just to bring awareness and a couple of things to be on the lookout for, some red flags that can help protect you and your loved ones from falling prey to those. Many of these involve sudden and dire, immediate circumstances where the fraudster will play on your goodwill, on your fear. And I'll finish with an example of a personal example that I have at the very end of the video. So the very first one is romance scams. And you may have heard of those. So this scam is a form, involves feigning a romantic interest in the victim, often a widow or widower or a person at risk. They will gain that person's trust and affection and then suddenly request money from them. And often there are red flags, such as the person does not have any family around, they're hesitant to do FaceTime or any face-to-face interaction, they have clearly fake photos, they use bad grammar because often they're not based in the United States. And so if you notice a loved one speaking highly of a new person they met online, be very, very wary and warn them never to share any personal data, never to share any photos with them. And so what will happen is they'll endear themselves to the victim. And then in a few months, they'll have an emergency come up, or they're in need for money to start a business, or they'll have a health concern and they'll say, oh my gosh, can you please help me? And then that person will then either wire money or send money through some means, and then something else will come up. Send more money, and something else will come up. And it only ends when the victim realizes that they've been defrauded and cuts that person out. And so an example of this would be like we'll have a client who's all of a sudden she is requesting $100,000 withdrawal from her account. And normally this client is very modest, lives within her means, and is this is very out of character for her. And so when called to confirm that this is indeed correct, she explained that it was for a new boyfriend's business venture who lives in another state. She explains that they met online and that this person requested money to start it. And he's going to eventually fly her out there and live out here with him. I mean, obviously that was a scam. And after talking with a while through that, we realized that that wasn't a scam. But that's how that works. The next one's very similar. It's called pig or hog butchering. Pig butchering tactics it's a more recent hot topic. Basically, it's a tactic that's used by fraudsters to where they gradually gain the trust of the victim, and that's called fattening, and then they steal money or identity from them. That's called the slaughter, before disappearing entirely. So similarly to before, the fraudster will gain trust and build that person up, then have an emergency or steal their identity or their money. The next is called the grandparents scam. And in this scam, the fraudster will call someone's grandmother or grandfather, pretending to be a police officer or detective, and inform them that their grandson or granddaughter has been detained due to possession, drugs, or firearms, something or both. And then they'll put the grandchild on the phone, pretending to be that person, and ask them for money for bail or whatnot. And they'll request that they either buy like a prepaid Visa card or wire the money or something similar to that. Now, what should alert suspicion, is the fact that the grandchild begs the grandparent not to tell their parents. In the real world, that would be a major breach of trust, but they're embarrassed. Please don't tell mom and dad, yada, yada, yada. And this preys on elderly folks' love for their grandchildren, a very powerful emotion. And also fear and the need for immediate action. Oh, I gotta act now, I gotta act now. And so, your system 1 part of the brain is reacting and not allowing system 2 part of the brain to adequately process and think about it. And for folks who are advanced in years, this will unfortunately be put them in a much more vulnerable state for this manipulation. So, personal experience. One day, this was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was at the office, as I can sometimes be on a Tuesday morning, and I get a call from my 85-year-old grandmother. And she was a little cheeky about it. She asked me, are you by any chance in jail in Miami? And so I answered, not at this time, I'm not. I could be kind of sarcastic too. And it turns out that she got a call from Detective X, Y, and Z in Miami, and I had been detained because the car I was riding in, I didn't own the car, and it wasn't me, but the car I was riding in had drugs and guns in the trunk or something similar to that. And then they put me on the phone, and apparently it almost sounded like me, but it was too frantic, and it wasn't quite my personality. And so that kind of triggered something. And her response was great. We got the best little chuckle out of it. Her response was, well, if you really did those things, then you deserve to sit there in jail. So I love that response. But if you can imagine, if she wasn't so sharp and wasn't so there, she could have easily been swept up in that. So it's easy for scammers to call 50, 100 grandparents and get one of them, 2, 5 to give money. So make no mistake, these fraudsters, they are relentless as they are smart. These are very intelligent people. And oftentimes they're desperate people, and they use their God-given skills not for good. And so we have to constantly keep our compliance updated. We have to be vigilant. We have to protect our family and our friends. And if you notice any of these red flags, a lot of these red flags will call for immediate action. New romances, new friendships, but you've never actually met that person. A family member is isolating themselves from you. And generally just go with your gut. Your gut is often right. So I hope that this helped a little bit, shed a little bit of light on some of the scams that are out there. We just want everyone to be safe, to keep the hard-earned money that they've earned, and not fall prey to and become a victim. So until the next video, be good to yourselves, be good to others, and if this helped, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.